Garrett speaks. Learn English now. Hello, everyone. My name is Garrett, and you are on my channel, Garrett Speaks. The last videos were dedicated to my trip to Georgia. It was no coincidence that my husband and I chose this country. We are a little tired of the hot Israel, where our season is no different from the last, and outside the window there are still the same palm trees. Spending the fall in Georgia turned out to be a good idea. I looked at the golden leaves and rain, enjoying the cool weather. We even stayed in Georgia longer than planned and celebrated the New Year in early December. But I'll tell you about this a little bit later. Since we went to Georgia specifically to relax, I didn't set myself the goal of filming a lot of videos. I don't really like social media, so I clearly separate my work from my personal life. Usually, when I travel, I take photos for myself and shoot videos for my channel. Therefore, from my trip to Georgia, I brought more photographs than videos. We planned to visit many cities in Georgia, but circumstances were such that we lived only in Tbilisi. This is an amazing city with a long history and beautiful nature. I realized that I was simply in love with the mountains. Tbilisi is a city that seems specially created for long walks. I would not recommend using a car or a taxi here because local residents constantly break the rules, drive in the wrong places, make dangerous maneuvers, and drive cars at high speed. It probably seems like the hot temperament of the local residents. We lived in the very center of Tbilisi, so it was easy for us to get to all the places that interested us. And of course, it's no secret that my husband and I really love metro. For me, this is an ideal type of transport that allows you to forget about traffic jams, planning a route, and other inconveniences. Georgia is Georgian, but the local population also speaks Russian and English as well. It's quite easy to rent an apartment or even a private house in Tbilisi, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. At first, we rented a part of a house in the center of the city from a local resident, but there was a huge difference between our mentalities and understanding of the world. My husband and I found it extremely uncomfortable to live in this place. Firstly, the owner constantly smoked, standing on the balcony, smoked in the patio, and there was a constant smell of smoke in our rooms. Secondly, the owner of the house, David, was a hunter. He kept a hunting dog that constantly barked and behaved badly, and he tied it outside on a short leash, and I heard the poor dog constantly howling. It also did her businesses right there in the yard, and the smell was awful. I was very upset by the attitude of Georgians towards animals. When they work their dogs, They don't clean up after them, and I always had to watch my step carefully. Dogs and cats are treated quite harshly. They're often thrown out into the street. There are many stray animals in the city. Animals are often used to offer photographs to tourists, and this applies to birds of prey. The poor birds' wings are clipped so they cannot fly away, and they are carried on their arm all day long without food. From time to time, such businessmen shake and toss the birds so they open their wings and look good in photographs. It was impossible to look at this without tears. But the government is trying to solve the problem of stray dogs. All the stray dogs we met in Tbilisi were neutered and vaccinated and had a special tag on their ears. However, large dogs in the city are still a problem because they can be aggressive towards passers-by, they run out onto the roadway or lie down in the middle of the sidewalks, which often creates traffic congestion. Georgia is not at all intended for families with small children in strollers and people with limited mobility. It is also inconvenient to ride electric scooters here. Therefore, creating additional obstacles in the form of dogs can greatly spoil your mood. But after we left the private house and checked into the hotel, everything went well. The hotel was very cozy. There was a beautiful view from the window, and the dining room had an extensive gluten-free menu, so I could eat delicious food. I was pleased with everything in the hotel, the cleanliness, the large bed, the co-working space, the huge living room, and the cats in the yard. I had a good time in Georgia and got a lot of new impressions, and this is the most important thing, I suppose. I really enjoyed the sightseeing tour on a double-decker bus throughout the city. We rode this bus for 2 whole days. We also took a boat ride along the river and saw an ancient fortress. Georgia also has very tasty wine and a lot of cool souvenirs. I gave all my friends socks with the image of khinkali, a local national dish. I hope you enjoyed traveling around Tbilisi with me. It was Garrett Black. Nice to see you again. Garrett speaks. Learn English now.